Here he is, Shergar himself, with young Walter just flexing his muscles there. Shergar has run 6 times in his career and has only met defeat once. That was at the hands of Beldale Flutter in the William Hill Futurity Stakes at Doncaster as a 2-year-old. His 3-year-old campaign has gone without a hitch, having his first race of the season. That was in the Classic Trial at Sandown, where he ran out an unextended winner over Kirtland. He then took the Chester Vase with no less than 12 lengths from Sunley Builds. His next start was in the Epsom Derby, where he never looked in any danger at any stage of the race, running out a 10 lengths winner from Glinter Gold. He completed a unique double on his last start when beating Cut Above by 4 lengths for the Irish Derby at the Curragh. And that day he had Lester Piggott in the saddle, because young Walter, who we're looking at there, had suffered the wrath of the stewards and had to stand down and watch it from the stands. But young Walter had the pleasure of riding him in the Epsom Derby. Well, there he is, the horse that has a $10 million, I should say a £10 million tag on him when he retires and goes to stud. And he looks worth every penny of it at the moment. Well, this is number 8, the only lady in the race, a bay filly. Madam Gay was still a maiden at the start of the season, but had placed in top company in the early races of the year, notably when second to Blue Wind in the Epsom Oaks and third behind Petrolese in the Prince Elizabeth Stakes at Epsom. Was then second in the Musadora Stakes at York behind Condessa. She also finished 5th behind Fairy Footsteps in the 1,000 guineas at Newmarket, so it just shows you the quality of this filly. And then she lost her maiden tag in fairy tale fashion when winning the Prix d'Ain at Chantilly in June, the French equivalent, that is, to our Oaks. She's run once since then in the Eclipse Stakes at Sandown, when 5th behind Master Willie. She's a lovely filly, this, and as perhaps Shergar is worth £10 million when he retires to stud, this filly must be worth £1 million when she goes to stud. There she is, Paul Kellaway has really got her looking a picture in her coat, and the sun really making her shine like a new penny. Shergar just in front of her. There he is. Young Walter Swinburne rode the second winner here, so he'll have his confidence boosted. Followed out by the only filly in the race, Madam Gay, and the vast crowd beginning to now wander back to the stands to watch this race that the people have been, the racing public that is, have been looking forward to for many a month. Well, there we have number 1 leading the parade. This is Crackerval. He's a chestnut horse by Mount Hagen, out of Pretty Maid by Acropolis, so he's bred to get 1.5 miles, although I think that perhaps 1.25 miles is his best trip. He's ridden by Steve Cawthon, and if Steve Cawthon should win this race today on Crackerval, that'll be his 50th winner of the season. He's 66 to 1 at the moment in the betting, and I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit away each way on him at 66 to 1. We drop back now to number 2, Fingal's Cave. He's trained by John Dunlop at Arundel and ridden by Pat Edery. He's a nice bay colt by Ragstone out of Blue Echoes, who was by Mountain Call, and he's running in the colours of Mr. Jim Mullion. Fingal's Cave, a really useful performer in top-class company, likes to come from behind in his races, so I think we'll see Pat Edery holding him up today for a late run. Here we have Light Cavalry running in the colours of Mr. Jim Joel, a bay colt by Brigadier Gerard, who won this race a few years back, out of Glass Slipper, who was by Ralco, another horse that's really bred for stamina. And I think we'll see Lester Piggott, who's bid in for his 7th winner of this race. And Light Cavalry, in fact, is 14 to 1 at the moment from 12 to 1. I think we'll see Lester cutting out the early work, and I think we'll see him making it a really super pace early on, because that's the only chance really Light Cavalry has got, and that's to try and wear down Shergar and the other 5 runners' stamina. Here we have Master Willie, and as Julian says, this is the one he likes to chase Shergar home. He's 7 to 1 from 13 to 2 at the moment. Master Willie, a chestnut colt by High Line out of Fair Winter, who was by Set Fair. That's rather unusual, because Set Fair was a very good sprinter of many seasons ago when trained by Walter Nightingale at Epsom. And I just wonder where this horse gets his stamina from. I suppose it's from his sire High Line. He's trained by Henry Candy, running in the colours of Mr. Robert Barnett and ridden by Philip Wald. This is Pellerin, trained at Newmarket by Harry Ragg, running in the colours of Sir Philip Oppenheimer. He's 7 to 1 at the moment. He's a bay or brown colt by Sir Gaylord, out of Padrona by St. Paddy. So another one that's bred to get the 1.5 miles really well. Brian Taylor is undefeated on this colt so far this season from his 3 starts, and has really struck up a really happy partnership and knows how to ride him backwards. We drop back to number 7, Shergar. Well, what do we say about this 3-year-old colt, except for the first time in his career he's meeting his older rivals. He's 11-4 on favourite, and they go 7-1 bar him. A beautifully bred colt, Shergar, by great nephew out of Shermeen by Val de Loire, and running in the colours of His Highness the Aga Khan. And I think today will give Walter Swinburne a really another great moment, such as he did when he won the Epsom Derby. We drop back now to the filly, Madame Gay. As I say, she's 40-1 at the moment. She was a maiden right up until she journeyed to France for the Prix d'Ain, and then she lost her maiden in really fairy book fashion when she was ridden by Lester Piggott. Shergar is going to be the last to go down. He turns, and just look at this very highly bred colt in his actions, really striding out. And you see there he's got quite a quick action on the way to the post. This elongates the faster he goes, and as he warms up in his race, he really starts to cover the ground, and he really is a racing machine. A temperament as well that goes with all good horses. Nothing really worries him. He walked round the paddock as if he'd been doing it, never mind for 2 seasons, I should say, because he only ran twice as a 2-year-old. He won at Newbury when he was ridden by Lester Piggott, and then he was second in the William Hill Futurity behind Belldale Flutter. The horses pull up nicely around at the top end of the course here at the 1.5 mile start. All 7 runners racing on ground as perfect as you'll get it for flat racing. And going through the record book, this is the 31st running of this, the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth II stakes, and in the 30 years it's been won by 3-year-olds no less than 15 times, and by 4-year-olds 14 times, and once by a 5-year-old. So the 3-year-olds have a pretty good record. Master Willie. Well, there we see Walter Swinburne with all the responsibilities of the world on his shoulders at the moment. I wonder how he sees this race being run.
I should think like Cavalry will be making the running. I might probably sit up behind him and take it from there. I'm sure to be getting a lead into the straight. They'll be going a good enough pace, and hopefully if he's going good enough, I'll be able to take it up as soon as we straighten up and hopefully go on and win. Shergar's in very good condition. It's never been better. Looking forward to riding him, and I can't see any problems.
Confident words from a 19-year-old rider, but then it shines. You can see it in his riding. He's never in the wrong place. Shergar 5-2 on favourite from 11-4 on, and still 7-1 bar him. But just look at Shergar standing there, and just look at the wonderful job Michael Stout has done to bring this colt to perfection for today's race. He's running the Epsom Derby, the Irish Derby, and just look at the condition still on Shergar. His coat really shining out there, and it's no mean feat to produce a colt for these races, because a lot of work goes through them on their way to a race like this. I don't think young Walter will have any worries early on, because he's the type of horse that can be ridden right up on the pace, or he can drop him back, because he's got terrific acceleration with an abundance of stamina as they race into the last 2 furlongs, soon after they straighten up. Fingal's Cave just walks to the left of the picture with Pat Eddery in the saddle, like Cavalry 12-1 from 14-1. Pat Eddery bid him for his 2nd King George. He won it in 1975 on Grundy. Well, Brian Taylor goes in on Pellerin. Brian bid in for his first win of this great race. I've had quite a lot to say of all the runners, all 7 of them. Let's join Peter O'Sullivan.
That's Fingal's Cave in. And now Shergar himself. Walter Swinburne in his first ride in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. Master Willie goes in. There's Crackerbell and Light Cavalry to go. Lester Piggott here on his 25th ride in the big race. Goes into his stall. Shergar 5-2 on, Master Willie 7-1, Pellerin 15-2. Crackerbell is in, and that's it. They're all installed. Under starters orders, and they're away. Shergar, Master Willie, and Light Cavalry the first to show, and Light Cavalry going on now from Master Willie and Shergar. Then comes Madame Gay, Pellerin on the inside, Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerbell. Light Cavalry making it from Master Willie and Shergar disputing second. Just behind them come Madame Gay, then Pellerin. Behind Pellerin is Fingal's Cave, and finally Light Cavalry as they race downhill still towards Swinley Bottom. Light Cavalry not taking him along at a very fast gallop at the moment. From Master Willie on the outside of Shergar, then Pellerin and Madame Gay matching strides, and behind them Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerbell. Racing towards the mile pole now in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and it's Light Cavalry, Lester Piggott in the lead from Master Willie and Shergar, then Madame Gay and Pellerin, then Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerbell. Racing towards the 7 furlong pole, and the pace has quickened, and Light Cavalry still in the lead from Master Willie second, Shergar the 3-year-old on the inside. Just behind them Madame Gay, the only filly, then comes Pellerin. Behind Pellerin is Fingal's Cave, and then comes Crackerbell. They've passed the 7 marker, racing towards the 6 now, and still Light Cavalry from Master Willie. Then Shergar, Madame Gay getting closer, then Pellerin. Behind Pellerin, Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerbell. They're past the 6 furlong pole now, racing towards the 5, and it's Light Cavalry from Master Willie, Shergar, Madame Gay going up on the outside of Shergar. Pellerin comes next, Fingal's Cave and Crackerbell getting closer. Racing towards the half-mile mark, and as they do so, Master Willie goes up on the outside of Light Cavalry, Shergar on the inside, then Madame Gay. Behind Madame Gay is Fingal's Cave. Pellerin is losing ground, then comes Crackerbell. They're racing towards the home turn, and it's Master Willie and Light Cavalry. Master Willie going on now from Light Cavalry. Madame Gay's moved round on the outside of Shergar. Shergar in 4th place now as they race towards the home turn. Crackerbell's improved into 5th, and Master Willie going for home now. It's Master Willie with the advantage over Light Cavalry. Walter Swinburne slipped through on the rails on Shergar, but it's Master Willie with the advantage. Madame Gay coming there strongly on the stand side. Shergar making ground over on the far side now, racing down towards the furlong pole, and Shergar, the 3-year-old, burst through to take it up on the far side. It's Shergar now from Madame Gay, Master Willie, Fingal's Cave putting in a good run, but as they race into the closing stages, Shergar lengthening in his stride is going to win it in tremendous style. Shergar striding up to the line from Madame Gay and Fingal's Cave, and at the line Shergar wins it. Madame Gay and Fingal's Cave in a photo for 2nd and 3rd. Then came Master Willie and Crackerbell and Pellerin and Light Cavalry, a photo for 2nd, but no doubt about the winner of the 1981 King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. First, number 7, Shergar, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained by Michael Stout, and ridden by Walter Swinburne. And it's a photo for 2nd place, a photo between number 8, Madame Gay, and number 2, Fingal's Cave, with Master Willie 4th. So, Shergar has done what Nijinsky, Grundy, the Minstrel and Troy did before him. Done it in great style. Let's review the closing stages once again with Julian Wilson.
And fascinating to watch this, because this was quite a new experience for Shergar. Normally he's been on the outside, in front 4 furlongs from home. Here he's had not 1 but 2 narrow gaps to go through, and he hasn't taken them well. Master Willie took it up almost 4 furlongs out. Walter brought his mount with a smooth run on the inside, but he needed a bit of luck to get the opening on the turn. He's needed it too here, because Philip Walden, riding with his whip in his left hand, was obviously hoping to close the gap, keep it tight. But Walter's got through the gap, and now Pat Edder is looking for a run up the inside and Fingal's Cave, and for a moment he looked dangerous. But Walter's trying to close that gap. He looks over his left shoulder to see Greville Starkey and Madame Gay are a possible threat on the outside, but Pat Edder is not getting the response that he was hoping for from Fingal's Cave at this point. Back in 4th is Master Willie, who weakened disappointingly in the last quarter mile. But now Shergar shows his true class as he gets clear. Walter's driving him out, just one little backhander there, but the further they go, the further he's going in front, and in the end, he's done it as we hoped that he would, like a really, really good horse. But there was a moment of anxiety 2 out, and Shergar has shown his class and his courage. A close thing for second. It looks like Madam Gay just from Fingal's Cave third.
Yeah, still waiting the outcome of that photo for second place, as Shergar, this great 3-year-old, my great nephew out of Charmin, maintains his unbeaten record in 1981 with his 5th triumph, and in this Europe's premier all-aged international. 19-year-old Walter Swinburne, greeted there by Michael Stout. Michael's 46th winner of the season. And here comes the outcome of the photo. Second is number 8, Madam Gay. Third is number 2, Fingal's Cave. So the full official result of the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. First, number 7, Shergar, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained by Michael Stout and ridden by Walter Swinburne. Second, number 8, Madam Gay, owned by Mr. Geoffrey Kay, trained by Paul Kellaway, ridden by Greville Starkey. And third, number 2, Fingal's Cave, owned by Mr. Jim Mullion, trained by John Dunlop and ridden by Pat Edery. And the distance is 4 lengths and a short head. Master Willie was officially 4th, so the great horse we're observing now has won this race by the same margin as that by which he won the Irish Sweeps Derby, having won the Epsom equivalent by 10 lengths. And the 5th horse in racing history to complete the Epsom Derby, Irish Sweeps Derby, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes treble, following Nijinsky, Grundy, the Minstrel and Troy. Lately syndicated with a valuation of £10 million. And what a bargain he is now to those who have been lucky enough to secure shares in him. A fine run, it must be said, too, by Madame Gay, who was a maiden until she went to France, to Chantilly, to win the French Oaks. Greville Starkey put up 1 pound overweight on her today, and that might have made all the difference between second and third, and a very relevant second and third, because the second prize was £37,000, third 17,000, but the first 92,062, and the starting prices as follows.
First, number 7, Shergar, 5-2 on favourite. Second, number 8, Madam Gay, 40-1, and third, number 2, Fingal's Cave, 40-1 also. There were 7 runners. The jackpot number was 307, and the third and final leg of the trialer comes to £516.60.
So Shergar proves himself the champion we knew him to be, and one of the fascinating aspects of the race was that the 3-year-olds, so much maligned, were first and second. Well, this was the day that Walter Swinburne had to earn his corn. It wasn't a steering dub today, he had to ride a race. And with me is our paddock commentator, Jimmy Lindley. Jimmy, Walter was quite brave at one time.
I think he was, Julian. As you say, I think today he proved himself a jockey of the highest quality, because in the Derby everything went right for him. He had no trouble all the way from the last 3 furlongs. Today he had the box seat, but my goodness, Greville, the old fox, who's one of our top jockeys as well, wasn't going to give him an inch. He was race riding the whole way round the turn.
Well, let's take a look at the race from the start. As expected, Light Cavalry went off in front, but he didn't go off just quite as fast as we thought he was going to, did he?
No, Shergar, in fact, gets the break from the stalls there. Leicester now sets about making the job of making the running and turning it into a race. Young Walter gradually easing Shergar back off the pace, with Master Willie pulling hard with Philip Waldron on the outside. He's not settling. I think this is why he hasn't run his race today. Just look at him pull. He's got his head stuck up in the air. He's running much too freely. But watch Greville on Madame Gay. He's got a nice seat there, tucked in behind Master Willie, with Brian Taylor on Pellerin just in behind Shergar there, and just look how settled Shergar is. He's racing. What a temperament this colt's got. Now Leicester has slowed the pace down a little, but in another quarter of a furlong he gradually quickens it up again. There he goes. Leicester's off now. They're down into Swinley Bottom, well into Swinley Bottom, and Leicester's beginning to quicken up now, as in a moment they're going to make a right-hand turn into the Old Mile. Here we got young Walter still Still doing a good job on Shergar. He's got him nicely settled, and by this time Philip Waldron has got Master Willie to drop his head. You can see now he's setting about racing properly, but I think the damage has been done. For good 3.5 to 4 furlongs, he's fought Philip all of the way. Madam Gay moving nicely there, Julian.
Well, this is one of the key points of the race, I thought, because Walter's in third there, but in a moment Grebel's going to move up on his outside on Madam Gay, and that's obviously going to give Walter a little problem, because now he's got nowhere to go except stay on that fence.
This is race riding, Julian, and Grebel, he's a dab hand at this. He's ridden in the top class races all around the world, and as you say, here he goes up. He gets absolutely neck and neck with young Walter on the Shergar, and we've got Master Willie making his break now. Now what Philip's hoping is that Walter gets into a bit of trouble here on the heels of Light Cavalry, and he can poach 2 or 3 lengths. Now he's really going Philip round the outside. He's asking Master Willie for everything he's got. Master Willie's really giving it as well, but he's having to do it on the turn. He's fought hard for the first mile. In a moment he's going to run out of puff, but look at his stride.
Where's Walter Swinburne going to get the break now? This is the question.
Well, this is where I think that Walter has proved he's a mature and a very confident rider, and as you see there, he's waited for Leicester just to come off the rails there, and I think Light Cavalry's feeling the ground, and he's just hanging slightly with Leicester. Now Walter puts Shergar into top motion to go and get up on the inside of Master Willie. He's answering, but Pat Eder is up to this. He's right on his heels. He's following through the gap. Now this is rather interesting. Walter's been condemned for not being able to use his stick in his left hand. Now just watch this. He goes now 1, 2, 3, 4 strides, hands and heels. He's asking him, he's getting an answer. Master Willie's now dropping away from it, but Madam Gay's putting in a strong challenge just on the outside. Walter gets his stick through into his left hand. One little crack. Shergar answers, really lengthening and going for the post. Now Walter knows he's got it stitched. He looks over to Greville Starkey on Madam Gay, but let's take anything away from this filly. What a race she's run. Just look at the little heart she's got. She's really lengthening, but Shergar today, Julian, is really proving himself. One of the best 3-year-olds we've seen, and he can join for me the Seabirds, Nijinskas and Rebos.
Yes, he's won it in terrific style, but we have to ask what might have happened if he hadn't got that gap coming through to the straight. Might have been a bit close.
Could have been, but this is race riding. You've got to ride with confidence, and that's what little Walter did.
Jimmy, thank you for those comments. And now we go back to the unsaddling enclosure and rejoin the commentary of Peter O'Sullivan.
And Her Majesty the Queen greets His Highness the Aga Khan, the Begum Aga Khan, to present the trophy associated with the 1981 triumph. And Her Majesty presents her own cup, traditionally for this race, as well as the magnificent silver plate inlaid with different colored golds and set with 222 brilliant cut diamonds weighing 40.60 carats, designed by Richard and Mary Anderson of Lincolnshire. And a beautiful trophy it is. Sir Philip Oppenheimer, the chairman of De Beers, holding it. Lord Abergavenny, Her Majesty's Ascot representative, with Sir Philip Oppenheimer. And a trophy to be presented to the winning trainer, Michael Stout, who will receive a necklace with an equestrian theme incorporating 1.66 carats of pavé set diamonds designed by David Thomas of London, received by Michael Stout. After achieving his first ever triumph in this great prize in his comparatively early days as a trainer. And Her Majesty to present the winning jockey, 19-year-old Walter Swinburne, with the 18-carat yellow gold ring incorporating 2 baguette diamonds weighing 40 points, designed by David Courts and Bill Hackett of London. One of Walter's greatest moments after winning the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, his very first attempt.